Ladies and gentlemen, Alfred Desayas said that some people criticized his mandate as being too broad and utopian. But I guess that the International Criminal Court, which is now working since 2002, is an example for something that was also deemed utopian once. And now there are more than 120 countries in the world that are member states. And there are a lot of debates about the International Criminal Court, but it exists and it is working. Let me just give you one example of a country, or one example of why we think that a UN Parliamentary Assembly is an important project and is a necessary one. The country of Mauritania. Mauritania has a little over 3 million inhabitants, and almost 500,000 people there are still slaves. And 90% of these 500,000 persons are women and children, and they don't get any education. They are told that it's God's will that they're a slave, and they don't know anything about their rights. And the ruling class is not interested in changing the system. It was even the case that an ambassador or a member of the Mauritanian embassy in France had a house slave, and when this became public, they had to send the house slave back to Mauritania. But it still exists in Mauritania, even though there have been several laws that abolish slavery and even try to charge, or that are even supposed to charge those who perpetrate slavery with criminal sentences. Anti-slavery organizations oftentimes have a hard time working. They are harassed, their members are harassed, and have been sent to jail several times. They are intimidated by the government, and they are not officially recognized, which means that they can't get any funds from other countries, for example. The foreign journalists can't report on slavery in Mauritania. If I'm a foreign journalist and I'm going to tell the Mauritanian authorities I want to come to your country to report on slavery, they say, first, it doesn't exist, and second, we won't let you in. So there's no possibility, or there are just a few possibilities for Mauritanian anti-slavery campaigners with which we collaborate to inform the general public, or the world public, so to speak, on what is going on in their own country. And a UN Parliamentary Assembly would increase the number of voices that haven't been heard yet. It's not only the governments that claim to say what's going on in their country, but also the citizens of the respective countries, especially authoritarian ruled countries. It would also increase the possibility that those who are powerless, minorities, indigenous minorities, ethnic minorities, religious minorities, that they can come together and not only publicly criticize oppression, slavery, lack of education, lack of participation, but they can also find a way to cooperate and sort of increase their strength. And they can blow, Alfred Desayas talked about whistleblowers as well. They can also, this would be a forum in which they could use to blow the whistle publicly, to tell a world audience what is going on, and thus also create pressure on, for example, Western governments to be more forthcoming towards the government of Mauritania to really enforce the laws that already exist. And that is why we think that this UN Parliamentary Assembly is a very necessary idea.